if I wanted to add a quote to my image here, I would select this box. I wouldn't keep it that size. I might not even use it, but we'll see. I'm going to put that down. I'm going to make sure my letters are unlocked because I'm going to select everything. Just click and drag, select everything, and move it up. And now that's the center of the page. I actually have a nice white border here as well. So now I can lock both of these. I can always unlock them if I need to move them. And we'll add another layer. We'll put it on top, and we'll call it quote. At this point, I'm going to hit W. I want to be able to see these guides that are up here. And I'm going to grab my, actually not my frame, I'm going to grab my text tool. I'm going to click and drag. And I like to pay attention to where other shapes can be aligned to. I can adjust that a little bit if I need to, but we're going to say Happy Friday, friends. Obviously too small, I can select that. Up here, as long as the A is selected with the T tool, these is like the options for the typography, I can change the size. And I can change the font. I would encourage you to stay away from something like Comic Sans or Papyrus. A lot of times they're viewed poorly. They're just kind of overdone and not well designed. So I'm going to try something like this. We'll see what happens. Okay, possibility if you're going for that type of look. Personally I like Avenir, and you can see that there's actually options within that. So if you wanted it to be bold, you could make it oblique as italics. I'm going to check my spacing here. So let's change the size of that until I get them both, all the words on one line, and I can get that centered. If I have the text tool, I can select those words, and I can change, now this right here, this is changing the spacing. I don't want to change that. I want to change the size of the text. So there we go, and I can center it. And I want to get it so that it's pretty much aligned under those letters, or maybe even under the edge here. That looks pretty good. W will allow me to preview it. I don't like this big amount of space, so let's try doing something a little bit fancy here. I'm going to move this down. And let's lock that and add another layer underneath actually. I'm going to add a text box. And I'm going to type another word. You saw this on a few of the examples. I can even type in, we'll try 150. Looks pretty good. I can change the color of it, except I don't want it to be a color actually. I want it to be black and white, so I'm going to come over here, find a gray, and I can place that. I want to center it, so I'm going to go to my text tool, center the word, because it will try to center the box, the frame that it's in, not just the word, unless the word is centered inside of the frame. Okay, W. Now, we needs to be way bigger than that, so let's select that. We'll say 200. Now, it went away. What happened? I just need to change the size of my frame to make it larger so that it fits. Now I'll center that again. And I can play with that. If I go to my layers, I can lock that. Maybe I want Happy Friday Friends to be underneath. In which case this is too close, so I'm going to unlock. I'm going to just unlock everything and give that a little bit more space. Always paying attention about relationship from one thing to the next. So now it's centered within the page. Again, this is the tutorial. You don't want to follow exactly what I did. You want to follow the steps that I went through. So you would choose different fonts maybe, different ways of spacing things. Maybe you decide that you want it to line up along the end, and you could go to the text tool, make it right aligned. Then maybe you take we and make that, again, I'm going to go to the text tool, left aligned. Now I'm going to select my other word and I'm going to drag that over. Maybe I'll move it down. Okay, so again, customize it to make it your own and figure out what's going to work best. In fact, I'd encourage you to look through the slides to look at the examples to give you some more ideas.